Oh, right on cue, sir, right on cue. So here we are, folks, at Western Pools Fishery, and we thought, we've never done a YouTube live before, or should I say, I've never done a YouTube live before. Chris here is catching an F1 every single put, and unfortunately, it started raining, so the rain killed my main camera filming. So I thought we'd try a bit of YouTube live. Chris, what's happening, mate?
Well, we've come on the Stretton today and they've just recently stocked some of these beauties, some little ghosty F1s, some normal F1s, and a few eyed and barbel as well. And we just come on basically to do a little video on how to get the best out of, newly stocked lakes, fishing for these sort of fish. And we've just had a bite of chuck, haven't we, Tom? It's been brilliant fishing.
Yeah, it's been good, hasn't it? Solid.
Solid, yeah, bite of chuck.
We're not going to tell you too much about what he's doing, because you've got a video coming giving all the gory details, but what we can talk about, what I do want to talk about, is some of the changes that's been happening here at Western while you're catching a few, Chris, because there's a lot of restocking going off, hasn't there?
Yeah, so into this lake in particular, like I say, they've put some stocky F1s, some of them ghostly F1s like that, some eyed and some barbel. Made for some really good fishing these last couple of weeks. Like the Winter League this weekend's been won with 90 odd pound. Bite a chuck off these sort of fish. A few better fish as well. See that on the drop then again. Just started loose feeding now as well. The wind's been bad today and it sort of hampered me from being able to loose feed, but now that the wind's dropped a little bit, I'm loose feeding, I'm catching even faster. It's just fantastic.
We've just had a question come in, Chris, actually. See, it's all learning, this YouTube live thing for me, and Mark Caton's asked what your favourite ground bait for carp is.
To be fair, the only ground bait I ever really use for carp is the Blake's Pole Mix. Just find it brilliant. I use it for summer, winter, fishing down the edge, fishing on the method feeder, everything. So Blake's Pole Mix, brilliant mix. Could it be a slightly better fish, unless it's a foul up fish? Could even be a bigger F1 this one. We have had a few for the older fish as well, haven't we? Some cracking F1.
We have, yeah.
They've just mixed in nicely together.
Oh, look at that, wow. Is that a carp or an F1? F1?
Big F1, I think, Tom, yeah. Ooh, he's flipping over me up length.
Oh, yeah.
It's a belting F1, that, innit?
Lovely fish, that.
How big's that? 2.5 pounds?
I think it might be, you might say it was 2.5 pounds, but I bet it's close to 4 if you weighed it. Yeah, I reckon it is.
That's probably why I'm so out with me weight. No, but yeah, it's been brilliant fishing on it, Tom. Bites all day.
What do you think the key is? I mean, you go to a lot of different places like me, and some venues, just seem to get the mix right year after year, and Western's definitely one of them. Is it that mix of species, do you think, so there's always some mouths feeding sort of thing?
Yeah, I tend to find that if you go to a venue with just carp or just F1s, or there's not many silvers, if they decide to shut off one day, for example, like say the carp don't want to feed, if there isn't any other fish, you don't tend to get any bites, whereas when you've got such a mix of species, if the F1s don't feed, the carp will, or the eyed will, and you just tend to get bites all year round when it's like that.
Definitely, yeah. Seems to be the way, doesn't it? Apologies, by the way, folks, for sounding a little bit croaky. I am feeling a little bit hoarse today. I feel okay, it's just a cough and a bad voice, so. Bit of winter flu going about, I think. You've had it, pal, haven't you, over Christmas?
Yeah, we've all had it, haven't we? We've all had it, but feeling a lot better now.
That's good.
So, very important. What has been definitely the case today is laying the rig in, holding everything nice and tight, and a lot of the bites are literally coming just as the rig's settling up. Like, that's just settled up now, that rig. So normally in the next few seconds I would expect an indication, oh, just missed that one. Drop the rig back down. Unbelievable how many fish feeding. Just makes it brilliant winter fishing, doesn't it, when you get a bite to keep him busy. That's all you want, don't you, in the winter?
Yeah, it's a bit special, isn't it, to be fair?
Fantastic fishery. Always fishes well in the winter. Like, I always come here, fish the winter leagues, fish a few open matches, because you're just guaranteed a few bites.
So we've got 30 folks watching at the minute, so I'm going to give you a little bit of a chance, folks. We're going to cut this live off at 10 o'clock, 10 minutes, should I say, because I've got a few more shots I need to get. But before I do, if you've got any questions, just stick them in the comments and I'll ask Kristian anything you want to ask him, really.
Again, that was another one of them ghosty F1s, one of the newer fish. And I think that's why, like, we're fishing maggots today, and we've got a full video coming out soon to show the tactics, but the reason I like to still try and fish maggots when it's new stock fish instead of pellets is you do just get a mixture. You know, it's not just the stock fish that you're going to catch. You're going to catch the big F1s, you're going to catch the eyed, the crucians, you know, so many different types of fish in this venue. I don't think you can afford to be too selective.
So obviously we've sat today, mate, middle of the lake, and we've got a feature. Is that your rule of thumb? If you were coming pleasuring today, you'd have chosen this sort of widest part of the lake, something to fish up to, yeah?
Yeah, I think on this bowl on Stretton, a lot of the fish tend to hang around the aerator, particularly early in the match. I think they sort of just ball up, they hang up around that aerator, and then through the day they will come in a little bit closer. But if you're going to choose a peg, where to sit, and you want to get some bites, picking a feature like an aerator or something like that just gives you a better chance of knowing that you're going to go in and get some bites.
Yeah, makes sense, totally.
You can see how quick the fishing is now. Did start off, it was slow to start with, and it just built up and got better and better and better, and now it's just literally a fish every foot in.
If this was a match, what would your next move be? Would you be thinking just clatter them there, or would you try and bring them shorter?
Yeah, for as long as it's good like this, I'd probably just keep catching, but I'd definitely be thinking about having a line maybe, you know, top 6, top 7, a little bit closer, where I'd be feeding by hand, because that last sort of hour and a half you can drop in and have a really good run. But I think if you're catching a fish that quick, you're going to be hard to be beaten no matter what you're doing. So it's got this fin caught in the net. Cracking fish, aren't they? Like, that's one of the original F1s that have been stocked in. You can see the stamp of him. Like, it wouldn't take you long to catch a good weight in the winter if you're catching him that quick. That wind's just picked up only a touch in my face again, so I'm just, to keep everything nice and accurate, I've just gone back to feeding with the pot. People are wondering how come I've stopped loose feeding. Just want to make sure I'm keeping everything nice and tight. And when that wind is picking up today, it's actually blowing towards us in our face, so it is spreading the bait out a little bit. So
I've got another question here, mate.
okay.
When fishing, rock bottom, I'm guessing by that it means when it's really hard,
Yeah.
on commercials with pellets, would you feed ground bait, micros, or a mixture of the two?
So I always tend to take both with me, and normally I tend to try and feed without ground bait to start with, because you tend to find if you go in and put too much bait in to begin with, a lot of ground bait and stuff, you can kill your peg quite early. So I just tend to go in, tap just a few micro pellets in. I think that one just sat there with it in its mouth. I had a bit of a lift bite. Sorry, so I just tap just a few micros in, maybe just 10 to 15 micro pellets in, and just try and feed like that. But if nothing's happening, I'll feed the ground bait as a bit of an impact to try and draw some fish in my peg. And the beauty of it is, if you do feel like you have overdone your peg and you fed a little bit too much bait, you can always, you know, start a new swim, add another section on. But your best advice is start off with just a few micros. If that's not working, add a little bit of ground bait to try and create a bit of an impact.
Lovely, lovely, and lovely fish as well. Look at that, a ghost F1.
Another one of them ghost F1s, mate. Yeah, cracking fishing in it, this.
Absolutely awesome. Well, I said we were going to stop at 10 minutes, but I think we're going to let you catch one more. Be interested to have a count up how many you've caught in 10 minutes, but it must be 4 or 5 now.
Oh, definitely, yeah, it must be.
So if anybody's got a last question, get it in now, because we'll be stopping the film when Kristian catches his next fish.
Just dropped again the wind, so I think I'm going to loose feed this chuck. I'd always rather try and get away with loose feeding, because I think when you're getting lots of bites off a lot of fish like this, actually spreading your bait out a little bit helps. You know, when you've got a lot of fish, you don't want them all on a tight area, you want to try and spread it out, and it just helps you keep catching more quick and efficient. So, 2 lots of maggots. Ooh, there you go.
Didn't take long, did it?
Again, you'll see the bites on the settle. They're not shallow, the fish, they're just lingering just off the bottom. And by flicking your rig out, nice light rig, you're getting bites just as your rig's settling up.
John Fairhurst says, is Kristian going to Western on Friday? Saves me a drive if he is.
No, I don't think I can make it on Friday. But it's definitely worth coming down and getting on the matches, because you see how many bites there is to be had at the minute.
Don't trust him, John. He might be trying to hustle you, I reckon, pal. Well, there we are, folks. Hope you've enjoyed our first ever Catch More Media YouTube live. I've now got to work out how to turn the thing off, but hope you've enjoyed this. Keep your eyes open for the video, which will be coming your way soon.